Positive vibes, maybe. PVM the Talk Show. Your host, Jeide Dash Smith. And tonight is a great episode, guys, because tonight is going to be an event like none other. Tonight, we celebrate our 200th live. That's right, you heard it. Number 200, baby, 200. So tonight, we got two special guests joining us. Family, our brothers, Juice and Quick jumping up in this thing to join Jeide and I for a conversation about the Brotherhood. So let me post this topic to anybody entering the room. How y'all doing? What's the energy? How y'all feeling? And overall, how is your Wednesday just unfolding for you? So today has been a fruitful day. Real good, real chill as far as like just getting my rest, relaxation in. It's been a long 2 weeks for me, especially on the work end. So today was well needed and well deserved on my end as well. So before I even get into the mix, cause I see the fellas all here. Before I get into the mix and invite them to start the conversation, let me pay the bills real quick. Shout out to T-Shirt Mercenary, official sponsor for PVM. Responsible for all your all your T-shirts, your labels, your decals, your book packs, all the supplies you need to be laced with PVM supplies. Tap into T-Shirt Mercenary or tap into myself or Jeide, or just slide into the PVM DM and place your order. Also, shoot on over to Flyer Mile Catering for your smoothies. Do like me. Make sure you got a smoothie today to keep yourself well nutrient and well hydrated. Also, keep yourself cool, something delicious, something more tastier than water to sip on these hot sunny days. Guys, definitely slide over to Kang Groovin for all your art decor. Upgrade the aesthetics in your household, and then tap in with Jeide so you can get yourself an official dad hat. So you're not like me just scrambling around looking for something to throw on, so you're hearing out all over the place. Now let me tap in and add the fellas so we can start up tonight's conversation, and then good one for you guys. So here we go. Hey, what's up, Quick? What's up, Jack?
Yeah.
What up, boys?
Juice. What's going on, man?
How y'all living?
What up, Dash? What up, Quick? What up, Jay?
What's going on, fam? What's going on with y'all, man?
Life is good. Life is good.
It is.
Y'all looking good. Y'all looking healthy. How y'all Wednesday coming along?
Look like
clockwise.
we coming out for a smooth landing.
Yeah, same, another chill day. Can't complain. That's the best type of days.
I got water. I'm blessed.
Hey. Simple.
That's the thing these days. So for sure.
Oh. So I invited you guys all here today to have a conversation about the Brotherhood, And it's something I felt like that was important to bring to PVM, where Jeide and I being males, we do a lot of topics where we cater to the ladies, and we share information as far as like how it could be beneficial to them in relationship standpoint, but we never really give too much insight onto like the man insight of like what we thinking, what we going through, things we may be dealing with day in and day out, how we may handle relationships, and honestly how we handle ourselves personally outside of relationships, So I was just like, let me bring in my brothers, open the conversation up to all of us, have multiple perspectives from four individuals, myself included, that I find real, interesting, and I feel will honestly make this conversation real fruitful. So before I open it up to the floor, I want to start off by like kind of just asking this question, just kind of give everybody a feel for a man. Like I kind of want to get your interpretation, guys. Like, what do you view as a man? What is a man in your eyes? And then we'll take it into like what the Brotherhood is. Because I feel like it's important first to determine how do you view a man and how do you separate a man from a boy.
Can I start?
So, yeah, anybody,
All right. To me, it's a simple difference between your approach to life. When you get to a certain level, you understand your place. how you are responsible for the things that you can immediately touch, and then certain things that you are within touching distance of. So that being an example would be like, I can use Jay for an example. When Jay was up north, he needed a homie to come help him out, but he knew he had his friends who could call him. That's something we could touch. If it wasn't Chevy, he could have called me, or we could have called somebody who would have made it work. That's like a simple version of it. Nothing too complicated, because ideally, you don't want things to get too complicated in those type of situations as a man. When do I got to go? How long is the trip? What's it looking like as far as moving stuff? And that basic version, we try to apply to a lot of things, like when it comes to our women, when it comes to our homies, when it comes to our business. So to me, it's more the perspective and how you handle your business. If I'm going to be responsible and I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do as a man, I'm going to take care of my finances, I'm going to take care of my family, I'm going to take care of my folks, the 3 F's, I guess. And then after that, everything else kind of falls to the side, because as much as we want to make it that simple, life isn't always that simple. But we as men, we try to prepare for those things. So like something pops up, or I got to get some plumbing done. I have some money on the side for that. Or I got to get my car, I got some money on the side for that because I was responsible. These things apply to everybody. It's just, the difference between the boy and the man, or the child and the adult, is the way we approach those things. And then aside from how we handle our responsibilities, like we're going to talk about later, it's also being accountable. My mans know if they can call me, say anything, I'm going to come through if I can. And if I can't come through, they don't understand why. It's not going to be a no, I don't got the energy or time for it, because that's out of the equation at this point, especially with my family, with my friends, right? But y'all know, y'all call me for the other, call me tonight. Bro, I got to go to AC. All right, let's hop in the car. We make it happen. We're just going to be back by the morning. You know what I'm saying, though? Because we can make that happen.
Right.
And that's the other part about it. That's the accountability that as a man you want to have to your friends, to your family, to those who depend on you. Because even though we aren't necessarily viewed in all lights as important as we should be, part of that is the way we handle ourselves, because we just want to get the stuff done. So as a man, it's like, I just want to make sure my business is handled. If I got to take care of my lady or my homies, and it's not an approach for anything other than I'm grateful for the fact that they look at me this way. They look at me as responsible and accountable, and I can uphold that to them, because that's the type of man I want to be.
Yeah, man, I don't think you just left too much meat on the bone for me.
my fault. Coming out hot.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? I think I would just add, kind of what Von's saying in the chat there. The constant growth, you know what I mean? As a man, I think that it's important that we have goals that we set and goals that we work towards, and constantly reset those goals. In addition to that, to kind of build off of the accountability piece, like for me, it's important that I'm consistent. I gotta be consistent in how I move, how I deal with people. You know what I'm saying? My word is my bond. And I'll take the personal loss. I'll take the personal loss before I go back on my word. You know what I mean?
No, I want to talk. So. Sorry, fellas.
I love it, man. I love it. Better not be in that toilet.
Yeah, my little cousin. I'm surprised y'all heard that.
Yo, the AirPod pick up everything.
The microphone is crazy.
For sure. But pretty much what you said, you know what I mean? But for sure, for me, I gotta walk the talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everything I'm saying here, when I walk out this room and I turn the camera off, I gotta be that. And it's important to me that I do that because I feel like people are watching. And for me, I always feel like I gotta be the example. So when it's not popular to be the example, when doing the right thing means you got to go the long way instead of the shortcut, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to make y'all watch me do it. So that way, when it's y'all turn to have to go the hard way, I'm not giving you no shorts. Because for me, I hold my friends very accountable. You know what I mean? I hold my family very accountable. And sometimes I might do it to death. You know what I mean? But I do that because I expect from them what I expect from me. And I know if at any point in time, if I'm ever lacking, they gonna hold me accountable because I'm on their heels every 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So just the that type of accountability when we talking about brotherhood, because I feel like it's weak energy when you start talking about, oh, I can't tell no other man how to live. You can't consult your brother. You can't provide wise counsel. Come on, man. Part of being a man is wisdom as well. You know what I mean? You can't just throw a boy in a microwave and come out with a man. You know what I mean? You got slow cook that thing.
I just want to say one thing real fast too, and then also to go back to what Quick was saying, it's a beauty in the wisdom, because I just want to comment on you saying that you go through the hard way. Well, if I gotta go through it, it won't be as hard because my man's went through it. He gonna give me real advice. He gonna really know 100% what he went through, and so that's also part of being better. Because I want my friends to be better, just like I want to be better. Right. If I go through something, like let's say we talk about like copping the crib. If I go through copping the crib and I figure out a way to do it with my credit and a minimal amount of down payment, I'm gonna tell all my men, because that's a goal. But we don't gotta do it like Quick said. We can do it the right way, but after we do it the hard way the first time, it ain't gonna be as hard the next time. It's going to get easier and easier because we're going to gain experience and wisdom when it comes to doing those things.
Yeah, but heavy respect. Damn, left even less meat on the bone this time around.
Let's
make some soup. Make some soup with it. You got it.
I know I got it, nigga. I'm going to jump in the bone marrow with this motherfucker.
You know what I'm saying?
Make that bone broth soup, my guy.
It's flavor. That's all we asking for.
Right.
To add to what both of you gentlemen saying, man, another aspect of being a man is, or how I conceptualize manhood and how I conceptualize being a man, and just moving in a way in which, you know, maturity is like the epicenter, not even like a height, but just like something of a core value. You know what I'm saying? Is I guess the best way I could say is like having the assertion to break the pot, but the sensitivity to gather the pieces and put it together again. You know what I'm saying? And by that I mean, you know, there's certain things that as a man you gotta stand on business about. Like similar to what Quick was saying, you know what I mean? Your word is your bond, you know what I'm saying? You stand on business on what you say, you know what I'm saying? Similar to what Juice was saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I give my word to my man, it's like, yo, listen, you know what I mean? Look, you can call me at any time. There is no calling out on these type of things. Unless there's something that supersedes my availability being another family action or something that is going to generate for the family, which, once again, is another family action, which prevents me from actually being there in that capacity, then that's the only thing that's going to stop me. I ain't going to be like, oh, man, I don't really feel like it today. You know, ain't none of that. Like, if we standing on business, we standing on business. And the same, it may even come and bleed into, like, the relationships that we have with our women or whatnot. Standing on business might not necessarily be what connects as far as the intimacy in that time being. However, because we're men and we're not just hyper-masculated motherfuckers and shit like that, we still have the wherewithal for us to tone it back down and be grounded to where it's like, all right, we can take accountability for our mistakes. You know what I'm saying? We can get back to where it really matters most with our loved ones, with our ladies, with our women in our lives, so that we can touch base with what connects to them and what feeds them, so that it can connect and feed us as well, because it's not a one-way street. You know what I'm saying? Like, as men, sometimes, yeah, we do have to, you know what I mean, push the envelope. We do have to push the, you know what I'm saying, the carriage forward or whatnot. But what becomes at the end of the destination, there's still inventory that needs to be accounted for. There's still a time period in which we have to sit down, meditate, you know what I mean, bring the women back into the fold where they are meant to be, you know what I mean, as far as beyond just the support system, the balance in the whole entire equation.
That's great. Yeah. So we got a question from Von Brown before I get to my next question.
You got to tell us your version. We did ours.
Oh, I mean,
come on, boy. We're all talking. You're not just the host. You're part of this, bro.
Well, mine's is like a mixture of all three of y'all's put together. Like, I mean, because you guys really didn't leave too much meat on the bones. Like, I'm just chewing on the bristle at this point. Like, it's all those qualities that you guys describe. Plus, I would say Honestly, I would say also understanding yourself and being patient with yourself too. I'll also say that's the part, big facet in becoming a man. One of y'all said about like the importance of just like teaching your brother, and honestly, I think it's important facet of being a man of just being accepting to learn. You know, like a lot of times, I even put myself as an example. Like growing up, I looked at being a man as like I can't take direction. I can't listen to anybody's advice. I kind of got to do it on my own. I got to figure things out on my own and then learn from my own lessons and then teach that upon the next. And it honestly took me into like my mid-20s before I moved into a space where I was just like open and accepting of like all male advice, you know, and really accepting of it. Because it's one thing to hear advice and be like, all right, you know, as opposed to like really hearing advice, sitting with it and implementing it into your day-to-day. So I'd say listening and understanding.
That's a good addition.
For sure.
So
yo, shout out to the chat. The chat popping. That's smooth in there. That's my man Isaiah Quick in here. That's Kim Folk. You know what I'm saying? Jordan in here, Von Brown in here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you make a little noise in here. What's happening, people? What up, though?
Shout out to everybody in the comments.
Y'all know
the comments now.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm about to hit them right now. So we got Smooth 1, 2, 3, 4 said, great conversation piece, my brothers. Much respect. Keep pushing the positive energy. Respect that.
That's my guy, man.
And then Von Brown said, why is it so difficult to correct the young brothers these days? So
that's easy.
Actually, that's kind of going on what I just said.
Exactly. You just touched on it. It's that energy when you're young and you just before you know what failure really is, you think everything is possible and you can figure it out. And at that age, you got so much confidence and energy in yourself. And you're just so optimistic that you're not really trying to listen. And honestly, the conversation is harder because that relationship, like we all got a relationship together. We can have honest conversations. That comes with time. But a lot of young boys, they don't necessarily respect that yet because they only, if you think about it, before you turn 20, how many friends do you have who you really been in some stuff with? And it's got a lot of time behind. That's hard to have at that age. So you don't necessarily look at relationships the same way. Like when you get to 25, 30, then you got, 10 years in with cats, 15 years in with cats, and y'all been through some stuff. And not even saying bad stuff, just some simple stuff like, oh yeah, remember that night you was trying to go out to Norristown to go shopping? Like just real simple stuff like that. But that's time in. And those are the foundational parts of the relationships that make it easy for me to be like, you know what? That's not a good look for you because you should be doing X, Y, and Z, given your talents. When you're young, people can tell you good things. It's like we said with the comprehension. If you're not willing to listen and learn and grow from it, it's just conversation that's wasted. So if you can't sit there and listen to somebody who's trying to help you out because you don't understand that yet, that conversation doesn't get anywhere. And before you get to a certain age, it's hard to have happen. We meet the young boys who are more mature and we're like, oh, they get it. That's normally because they've seen some stuff go wrong or they've been in some situations that went wrong. For a lot of the kids, that beautiful childlike energy they have to the world prevents them from seeing that negative side where we're coming from. It's the life experience. We can't always want people to understand where we come from because they haven't walked those steps. They haven't had those experiences. And so with the younger fellas, and that's the other reason though, for us being older, we can be accountable and responsible. We don't just do it one time. That's the other thing too. It's not like you preaching to the kids, but you really got to get on them. And when you follow it up, even if they don't necessarily see it, you just ingrain in them that knowledge so that when they do get to those positions, they'll make the right decision. And then they'll look back and be like, my old head looked out for me. Let me go talk to them about some other stuff. Right. But it's the young boys. That's what they're supposed to do. They living and learning. We on the other end. We just living and spreading the wealth at this point. We still learning, but we got, 30 plus years of knowledge in us now. So it's easier for us to say like, yeah, that ain't a good look for you, bro. And I could tell you why from X, Y, and Z examples.
That's real. So do you feel like it's more important for us to reach out to the youth or is it more so their responsibility to reach out to us for any questions? Because I do see it in the neighborhood a lot, like where it's kind of like that divide between, and I'm just going to speak from my neighborhood where it's like that divide between the older people of our era and like the younger generation. It's just like, do I share? Am I too preachy? You know, like, do young boy even want to take this advice? You know, and I do see a lot of reluctancy on guys my age of even giving that advice, or even like kind of bringing a youngster underneath your wing to be like, look, you know, I see some potential in you. I'm gonna pull you under my wing. I'm gonna give you some game. I'm gonna give you some advice. Like, more times than not, I run into young boys that's just doing stupid shit or just get caught up and stuff. And eventually, because life put them in positions, they learn from an old head. Like, but in those situations, they either locked up or they in some real stuff by that time. Go ahead, Jeide.
I wanna respond first, right quick, because there's something that you said that I want to get to the bottom of. And you were like, sometimes you see the old heads, they see somebody be like, yo, let me put you underneath my wing. Yo, that's not even a part of the conversation unless something inside that young boy, that young girl, that the old head recognized. You know what I mean? Like, it goes back to, once again, wisdom. When you get old, and as you get older, I should say, you know how to mesh out the bullshit from the real quick. Even if you see, let's say, a dollar coin in the gutter, and it's cruddy, and it's muddy, and it's rusted, and if you barely notice it, because you have experience, you still notice it. And you know that you can't put that shit in a fucking vending machine as is. You gotta clean it off. You might have to polish it. You might have to scrub off the grime and the lime and all that shit. You know, for the machine is able to actually acknowledge it as the coin that it is and accept it for the value. You know what I'm saying? But ain't no old head got no time. There's no disrespect to the youth. Ain't no old head got no time to pick up no rocks and try to convince you that these rocks have value. Because we passed that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We passed that. We're not young boys anymore. You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing against the youth. What it is an old head acknowledging that you ain't lived long enough. You ain't lived.
I heard that so many times.
Point. Don't cast your pearls before swine. You ain't lived long enough. A certain point, real shit. You get to a certain point where you understand your value, and that's when there's an old saying that what they say that the students never are ready for the master, or when the student's ready, the master shall appear. That's real shit. That's real shit.
I like that. I like that.
That actually goes to a question I wanted to ask. Go ahead, quick.
No, go ahead. Ask your question.
Because I was going to ask, when did y'all feel like y'all could benefit from a mentor's knowledge? Because
when did you benefit?
Can I answer?
No, when did you feel like you could benefit? Like, what point in your life did you think like, oh, I should talk to my old head about something? Because before I turned 21, that probably wasn't really a thought to me. Not saying I didn't have old heads. I wasn't having those conversations, but it was more like that was just in the flow of life. You know what I'm saying? You see your old head during the summer, you see him at the store, you chop it up. Maybe it's 5 minutes, maybe it's a half hour. But it wasn't until I got a little older, I was like, nah, there's some knowledge there. And it's different because I had my pop, and he would always give me knowledge, but he has his perspective. And he was born in 58, went to the military, so he had a different perspective on life. So you talk to him about certain things, he give you good game. I talk to my uncles, they give me good game. I talk to my neighbors. It was like once I got around, I'm going to say like 23 maybe, like where I could finally really be out and I was responsible for myself, but at the same time, I wasn't in any situations that were super serious. They had no kids. I ain't really had no mortgage, no heavy payments or anything. So it was like I'm free enough to do what I want. But at the same time, I'm trying to, it's like around that time, because I think that's the other part that goes into it. It's like Jay said, when the student's ready, the master will appear. But like, at what point did you as a student feel as though you needed somebody with more knowledge? Because I think that's the other part sometimes where we as older generations might fail the youth. We just assume, oh, you're 17. You should be ready for this game. It's like when I was 17, I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't looking for that.
I think like aside from just like adulthood in general, I feel like before anything else, I feel like it is our responsibility as adults to engage the young people. I don't think that they'll be receptive to it unless there's some sort of trust established first. Like you can't just jump off the porch fussing at the young boys and think they're going to hear you out. You know what I mean? They they might run you back in the crib.
That's a fact.
They might run you
That's
back up on that porch, you feel me? Because they don't know you, they don't trust you, you know what I'm saying? They ain't fooling with you. So, you know what I mean? Like, you got to get some skin in the game with these young folks, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's how it is with anything, really. You know what I mean? You got to establish trust before you do anything with anybody. So I think that it kind of circles back to answer your question, Juice, that it starts there, right? But also these young people, like, for me, I feel like they got to kind of show the initiative to a degree. Like are you show an interest in something? Like, are you interested in business? Are you interested in cleaning up your block? Are you interested in making it in sports? You know what I mean? Like, from there, you know what I mean? As a man, as a leader, I should be able to figure out what direction I could point you into. You know what I'm saying? So that you can get to the next lily pad. You know what I'm saying? And just hop as you progress. You know what I mean? So you got to kind of show me something so I know what to show you. You know what I mean? Because I've lived. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't just lived one dimensionally either. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just sports. It's not just business. It's not just manhood. It's not just travel. You know what I mean? It's a culmination of everything, all of the experiences. So, like, I wouldn't know which card to pull out of my pocket and show you unless you showed me something first.
Yo, could I add to that, gentlemen? Could I add to that right quick?
Yeah.
Because key shit. Quick just said some key shit. And the thing that was in my mind as a response to you, Juice, was when I started moving past my fears is when I knew that I was ready for my masters in whatever field. When I started moving past my fears and my apprehensions. So even to what you're saying, Quick, where you have X amount of years underneath your belt. So just off of the strength, you have experience through your walk. You've seen that these young boys ain't going to be able to say that they've seen before. You've experienced things. You've felt things. So you have a lot of cards in your pocket. But if you a young boy that's, you know what I mean, running around chasing your tail because you're still trying to figure it out, I don't know what card I'm going to give you. I'll give you an example. This is an example I always love bringing out one night. My first time going out to Chicago because I was just so headstrong about, you know what I'm saying, this rap shit, you know what I mean? I went out to Chicago. I didn't know anybody out there. The person I knew out there, shout out to Jacory, the person I knew from a rap forum website. Niggas go online and rap, like type of rap, you know what I'm saying?
Keyboard killers.
To come out to Chicago. I saved, you know what I'm saying? I could put some money together. I headed out to Chicago and shit. You know what I'm saying? Dead of winter. Never do it again. But dead of winter.
Couldn't break out there. It's different.
But it's different, my nigga. But because I did that, the type of lessons, like, shout out to Jay Vegas. Jay Vega, you know what I mean? He fan because when I went out there, he acknowledged that I had a talent. Man, this brother put on all these beats, these fire-ass beats I ain't never heard before and shit. Like, man, I'm about to get ready to go in. I'm about to body these shits. And the beat that he put on for me after he played a slew of these fire joints was some rinky-dink, ding, 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 ding. I was pissed. I was fucking heated, dog. I needed that. Because I only had like one, maybe two styles to me at the time, and I was really, really aggressive. So it put me in a place where it's like, man, what you gonna do? You either gonna use the words or you gotta evolve right now on the spot. You know what I'm saying?
That's the beauty of music, man. Especially rap. You know what I'm saying? I think rap is unique in that way. You know what I mean? Especially when you're sitting down with a producer like that. You know what I mean? And the producer got a vision for you. And the vision that they got for you ain't necessarily your lane. You know what I mean? Like, you're forced to grow in that moment. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you might as well pack it in. You know what I mean?
But that's what's, I mean, but that's, I love that about rap. And I think that's it's a parallel to our conversation, not a full tangent, because at the same time, a part of that is like Jay said, he was already at the point where he had got past his fears and got comfortable with the possibility of failure while pursuing his dreams. So it's like you said, Quick, at that point, you know it's different. Whereas when we talk about life, like talking to the young boys, it's a little different in regards to the nature of the fears of failure. Because a failure, like trying to start a business and failing, you always learn from that in a good way. And the same applies to life, but the emotional impact is always different to me, you know? It's like failing in life, that's more like I really feel like I messed up versus failing in business.
What's failing in life, though?
I know, I was about to ask that
just to kind of drill down a little bit.
No, yeah, I'm with that.
So both of those intertwine to me.
Right, yeah. They do, but see, here's the difference. What I mean by, let me not say failure in life. Having something not go the way you want in life is different versus having something not go the way you want in a business venture or creative venture. And that's part of like us talking to the young boys, getting them to realize the difference, right? Because they're both important, but one of them you can't take personal. And actually both of them you can't take personal for two reasons, I'm going to say. The business one is always strictly business, right? Something don't happen in business, you can boil it down to any number of reasons. It's never necessarily you. You could have a great business plan, be in a great market, and just strike at the wrong time. Like right now, the economy is up and down. So like, let's say you're trying to start a clothing brand. This might not be the time because cats might be buckling down on their budget soon. So you might have to wait. But a thing in life not going the way you want and just be like investing time in a girl and the relationship not working out. That's neither here nor there as for why it didn't work out. Because at the end of that situation, you still won't feel bad about it. And so it's one of those things where you got to get to the young boys, because we still talking about being accountable and being, I guess, to a certain degree, members of our community who can help build our community and make it grow. And to me, I always think that's a little different because like with those, you also got to, that's the difference when you get older in life and recognizing that difference, right? Like life happens and that isn't personal either. The same way the business side could fold on you. It's not your fault. Life could not necessarily go your way. You know, it's a different lesson learned. As an old head, that's like a part you can help stress with kids. Because y'all was talking about seeing the young boys, and I know like some of my young boys, some of their biggest concerns are relationship stuff. And I'm always like, bro, it's not that big a deal.
Too.
Right, like you 17, you 23. Like if you were to find the one, blessings, that's what's up. If not, you got 15 years to get yourself better and really find that person. But that's just a different time frame to me. That's what I should have said. Those two things, while they are parallel, they don't move at the same pace.
Yeah.
And going into that space and even like giving the young fellas like advice with dating and relationship aspects. Because a lot of my young boys, they do have the same issue, you know. And honestly, when I was their age, I had the same thing. And that's kind of like why, like with my young boys, I do share. I'm so transparent with them as far as like things I went through, as far as like my fuck ups, as well as the woman's fuck ups on how I view things in the relationship. And like even when I'm telling them about the relationship, I'm always beating into here. Prioritize yourself. Prioritize getting your finances in order. Prioritize getting whatever you want to achieve for yourself. And that woman will find you when it's time, you know. And like that's a lesson I had to even implement for myself because I got to a point where I was pitting the women over my own businesses, you know, like where I was prioritizing things in the wrong way, you know, where I had to check myself. And my young boys actually helped me look and see the faults in myself where I had to be like, you know what? I'm giving you guys all this advice about what y'all should do, but I'm not even following it myself. Hold on, let me adjust things accordingly, you know, and switch things and be an example so I can show you guys what it look like, you know. Because I do feel like a part of them open up is like that trust, like you said earlier, like trust in you, but also like you having trust in who you are as an individual because people could generally pick up if you're confident in who you are. And if you believe wholeheartedly what you're saying, the messages that you're projecting, it's easier for me to let down my guards and trust what you're saying to be true. Whether it worked for you or not, like you being confident in it would, you know, like in my eyes, it would be like, okay, you know what? Maybe old head got something that he really is sharing. Maybe it really will work. Maybe, you know, like I can give it a try. Like,
yeah, and you can also just get them to see that you coming from a place of experience. That it don't always work out, but it not working out isn't a bad thing. We all have been in relationships we thought were more serious than it was going to be. And then we've all been in relationships we probably could have gave more to. And I'm not just saying like with a lady. It could have been a job. It could have been a homie. It could have been any type of venture. But you grow from that. And you understand like, you know what? I didn't necessarily handle my end of the business. Or we weren't in the space, both like life-wise, to make it to be what it was. So it's almost the experience was what you were supposed to get from it. And then you get to pass that on and grow from it.
This real good stuff, man. It's real good stuff.
Yeah. And then the other thing, too, I want to go back to what Chris said. The other part too is like you said, just being you to the fullest. Once once the camera goes off, once you walk out the door, once you go to sleep, that's the other part. Because when we had these conversations, if the people we talking to know that this is 100% who we are, and they know where we coming from as a place of sincerity and from a genuine care and concern, and also from a genuine love, it makes it easier even if you do mess up, because they can recognize like, no, listen, I'm trying. Certain things are out of our control. We can only do but so much. But I did all the little stuff I was supposed to do, and I put myself in a position to maximize that moment. Whether that comes true or not, it doesn't always fall onto me. But I did what I was supposed to. I could be accountable and responsible, like I said I would do. And those things matter.
Yeah, and I think just to like kind of elaborate a little more, for me, that's why it's important that we kind of embrace failure and embrace opportunities. Because every time you try to do something, it's not going to go your way, right?
Yeah.
And you shouldn't only seek out opportunities where it can only go your way. I think that you should embrace difficult challenges where there's a possibility that you could fall short, because you'll never really know what your true limit or what your true potential is if you don't push yourself, if you don't fail. The true growth, the true win is when you fall down, you pick yourself up, you regroup, and you get back at it. You know what I'm saying? You conquer whatever challenge that was in front of you. And as a man, that's, we started talking about, from when we first started talking about setting goals, right? Constant growth. Like that's kind of where it starts, and I feel like I'm competitive. So I'm competitive with myself though. You know what I mean? And sometimes it gets unhealthy because I'm in my head, you know what I mean, pushing myself.
Yeah.
And it's easy to push yourself further than what you probably should from a healthy standpoint. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to max out. You know what I mean? Like I want to know what my true limit is, and in seeking that true limit, I'm gonna fall short a few times. But I'm gonna come out better on the other end every single time, because I'm gonna learn something from that shortcoming.
And to piggyback off of Quick, I keep hearing the phrase "get comfortable in the uncomfortable," and that is a part of the growth. And so, like what he's talking about is so true, because there's a certain part where he's comfortable with the uncomfortable nature of competing against yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Like not everybody's as introspective to just go like, nah, it's me versus me today, it's me versus me tomorrow, it's me tomorrow versus me yesterday. Like that's all that matters on this path. I can't walk another man's path. I can't do another man's purpose or journey. I can only do what I'm supposed to do. And so once you get comfortable with that, and then once you're able to, in essence, once you're able to extrapolate the little stuff from one part of life and apply it to the other parts, you simplify it. Mm-hmm. So the energy you carry, because at the same time, he even admits, it might be unhealthy at times, but you are aware of that, and that makes a difference. So sometimes you might have to check. It's funny as it sounds. You got to check yourself, like you're in the mirror. Look, you can do better than this, but don't go too hard. You still got to rest. But that's a part of the conversation you got to have. Because even though we want to max out, we don't want to burn out.
Exactly.
So we want to get to that point. And while we maxing out, we want to be able to enjoy it with our friends. You know what I'm saying? We want to see our homies do better. Because we all got different dreams and goals and ambitions. And not everybody's the same, right? Like, if I were to say, what's your dream car? None of us going to have the same answer. That's just a simple version of how different we look at life. But if I were to say, what's the number, and we can all help each other get there while I'm getting mine, that's the real purpose of what we're doing in these friendships and relationships. So while we maxing out and paving the way, and we gaining this knowledge we can share with our homies, it just makes it easier for us to navigate these things and feel, I'm trying to figure out the best way to put it, like, and feel that growth. Because that's another thing I think we all crave, right?
Absolutely.
Nobody wants to be stagnant. So if we have an opportunity to grow, and we're at the point now we can ask homies, hey, how did you get to that? Or what was the situation for you to start this business up and get it rolling? And we comfortable enough to have these conversations because we want that, right? Like we want the knowledge and we want to be able to do it. And like Quick said, it might not always work the first time, but we got better even from that first time. So we want to keep treading water sometimes till we really figure out how we need to navigate these things and being honest with ourselves the whole time, because it's all personal ambition. Like I'm not doing it for somebody else. I'm doing it for me and for my hopes and for my future. What I want, you know, be able to kick with my kids, kick with my fellas, be the uncle to all my nieces and nephews when y'all niggas have kids. Like, that's what we want.
Right.
Cause trust, I'm Uncle Justin to everybody. Listen.
Oh yeah, I'm Uncle Dash. You know, like,
Listen,
the kids change your perspective.
That's how I roll.
Entirely. Can I ask y'all a question?
Yeah.
Like, how do y'all go about celebrating and enjoying y'all successes, y'all incremental successes as adults? You know, for me, I find it challenging because, you know, I grew up playing sports, so it was a whole lot of like trophies. It was banquets. You know what I mean? There was a lot of hand claps, pats on the back, good job. You know, as you matriculate through school, you graduate. You have graduations, little graduation dinner party, whatever. You know what I mean? Got some cake. But as you become an adult, you know what I mean? Ain't no parades. Ain't no parades getting set up for you. You know what I mean? So it's like, how do y'all really take a moment for yourselves and really like congratulate yourselves or pat yourselves in the back for jobs well done?
Not to answer a question with a question, but what's your go-to small thing for yourself? Like, I know I like sneakers, I like to eat. So for me, it's like that little $150 I might spend on a pair of sneaks or whatever. I don't look at that as money spent. That's like my little reward because it's within the budget and it's something I know I enjoy. And so my whole motivation for that has always just been like, I'm gonna just do some little stuff for myself that I know I enjoy. And it's just right back to the grind. And that's just for me. I do think, I want to ask a question on top of that. How do you celebrate your friends' successes? Because that...
I feel like that's easier. I feel like that's easier personally.
Right, but for me, there's a part of the joy I get from my friend's success and the fact that I'm able to celebrate it with them that makes me think I did the right thing. Because there was a point where I was ghost, basically. Like, I wasn't popping up as much as I should have. I was, you know, just like on my own. And now I'm getting back to the point where it's like I want to be around for these moments. But as much as, you know, between us, stuff ain't expensive, it's still like I want to enjoy myself while I'm celebrating my friends.
Yeah.
So a part of that is like, where are we going? I meet y'all there. I got to pick anybody up, blah, blah, blah. Like, being able to do those things, that's equally as important to me as just being able to go like, I had a good month, my bills are paid, I got X amount of dollars left, I'm about to go cop a pair of J's. Like, but that's the simplest for me. It's nothing more complicated than that because my personal celebration was never grandiose. Like, I'd always get the joy from it, and then I'd be like, all right, what's next?
That's more in line with how I deal with my individual success. Because like Quick said, I come from a background of playing sports growing up. So growing up as a youth, I played football, basketball, track. But we just didn't have the banquets or the celebrations. You know, like I played in a poor area as far as like with all the sports. So like for us, winning the championship was just a piece of party. And then the next day we back at practice and we on to the next day. So for me, that's kind of how I started moving in life, that I'm actually just getting to a place now where I'm starting to appreciate and celebrate my little wins, you know, or where I quote unquote my small wins in life, you know, and I'm really taking the time to enjoy the flowers and smell and be like, okay, you know what, I did that I did good, you know, as opposed to, all right, I did that, on to the next task, you know, on to the next chapter, on to the next challenge. For me, it got to the point where I started feeling bad about myself, where I actually had to have friends of mine like kind of like point out all the good things I was doing. Like, I had a conversation with one friend and she was kind of breaking down all the things I did that made me change the perspective of how I was feeling about myself in that moment. Because entering the conversation, I was feeling down. I'm just like, man, I ain't get done this, that, and the third. I still got to do this. You know, I didn't reach this goal. And she's just like, well, damn, dog, you did this, that, and the third. Like, started listing off all these accomplishments. By the time she got done, my perspective on how I was feeling about myself completely changed. Where I was just like, you know what? I really shouldn't be as hard on myself as I am. But like, in me, what's been ingrained in me is always move on to the next, never celebrate the past. So I'm trying to get to a point now where I can celebrate it. For my friends, it's easier for me to celebrate their accomplishments because one, I'm generally happy for like the people in my life when they do something. And then second, I live through my loved ones, you know. So like when my family and my friends have kids, you know, they didn't just have a kid, I had a kid too, you know, like I'm mad, I'm the uncle to all my friends' kids.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
like when they have a kid, like you ain't just get parents, you got Uncle Dante too. So I'm slowing through, you know, bringing candies, treats, whatever when I come through. Like even when I do like family functions, like my family know I'm the one that's gonna supply for the kids because I got a soft spot in my heart for the kids, you know. So even if it requires me spending a little bit more, I do it for the kids' sake, you know. And you know, that's what it brings out of me.
I wanna throw my little in for this response too. That's a great question. First of all, thank you, Quick, and thank you for the elaboration on the question. Your question, well, I feel like for the personal win, I feel weird. It's like having whole celebrations for myself. That's first and foremost. I feel weird. You know what I'm saying? So it took me a long time to get comfortable, let alone being able to entertain the thought of celebrating a small win. But for me, it helps if I just acknowledge it. I had so many dreams and visions that are grandiose that I know takes brick by brick to be able to build. So every time I see a brick set in place, if I acknowledge it, it puts me in a place where I understand that it's coming together instead of me just being dismissive about or being passive about, you know what I'm saying, about what it is that I have a passion for, what it is that I have a focus or a drive for. If I acknowledge every brick, by the time this whole motherfucker come together, I might be able to have a story for each one of bricks. Like, oh, that brick right there is a little bit of jagged because I put a little bit too much mortar. I was second guessing how much mortar I need to put right there. Why it's a little bit jagged, it's off its angle, you know what I'm saying? Or that brick right there, I was trembling because I worked out that day. I dropped the brick, it chipped off the side, you know what I'm saying? That put me in a state of mind where I learned that I need to take it easy. So little things like that, you know what I'm saying? But as far as other people, as far as my friends, as far as my loved ones, I feel like at the very least that we could do is respect space and time for the celebration. We might not have to be able to get up together and throw a party every time my brother is celebrating a promotion or a business that he started, or my sister is celebrating the fact that she just opened something, or you know what I mean? But if I'm able to help to establish a time and a space that we could talk and we can build upon whatever it is that you have accomplished in a celebratory manner, in an uplifting manner, that alone does so much. You know what I'm saying? To acknowledge it and to be like, yo, all right, this space right here, this space, you know what I mean? Whether it's a link up or whether it's just a phone call or however it is, just to be able to acknowledge a space where it's like, yes, you did that. I see you, I recognize it, I'm proud of you. You did that.
I like that.
Thanks, fellas. I appreciate it.
Now, quick though, I want to know though, what do you do anything for yourself, bro? Like to celebrate? Like, do you, take it off? Get a steak?
I'm working
Like
on
any?
it,
I mean,
man.
honestly, anything, because it's a big part of it. Because I want to go to what Dash said too. Like, we can't necessarily skip those moments for ourselves. Because like Jay said, like we building something, you got to acknowledge your own work. And also to go back to what Dash said too, and you got to be patient with yourself because you can't necessarily be in a rush. Even though we all got that same, like, all right, boom, boom, on to the next one, there's a part where you got to slow down just for recharge and reflection, right? Even if you physically don't do anything more than just, like, lean back in your chair and go, good job, self. Sometimes that's necessary. You know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like
It's important for us as men to actually take that time to relax.
Yeah.
Well, I can take that past the man thing. It's important for anybody chasing their dreams to acknowledge the work they put in.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to get back and all you remember is just work. Right? Like you want to get to that point where you can look, like Jay said, you want to have the stories, you want to be able to remember the fun times, the moments in between, like I think of the little moments with y'all that aren't money related They aren't show related. They aren't even music related. It's like in the back of an event in a little cipher having a conversation about whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That might be the highlight of the night because we might have some gems
Right.
dropped in the conversation or maybe
Right.
some jokes. You know what I'm saying? But like even if we came, let's say we go to an event to support a homie, and we all, because we gonna gravitate toward each other. That's what we do when we at events, and we end up chopping it up. Like those are the moments where I'm like, I'm glad I came out tonight. It's not even about the money I spent or even if I bought around. Like, yeah, that's fun. That added to the moment, but really it's like this little interaction where we just talking about. Like last time we was talking about the difference in our childhood versus our adult life and some of our recreational activities. And, you know, that's a great conversation because really it's us being reflective and honest and we just cracking jokes. But at the same time, it's fun. You know what I'm saying? Then after that, we kind of all recharge our little social batteries. And like you said, too, it helps bring some perspective and some levity to the situation. Yeah. Because I don't know what conversation you was having, Dash, with your friend who she helped you with, get your energy right in yourself, your own perspective. But she did the right thing because you can't, like, Quick has the best version of it. When he gets into his head, he doesn't get frustrated. He just sees the next couple of steps. And sometimes when you can see those steps, it's hard to be patient. But you know it's like, that's coming. Whereas you were on the other end and you're kind of looking back and it's like, I could have did this differently or this. It's like, yeah, if you did it, you wouldn't be who you are today.
Yeah.
But
And that was the argument I was having with myself.
But that's the thing, though, because sometimes it's an internal conflict. It's an internal conflict. Yeah, it's an internal conflict because it's like, on the one hand, you can be happy with yourself and where you're going and the path you're on, but you also acknowledge there was a different potential path you could have been on. And because of how our minds work, even if we are focused in on something, we can't fully ignore other stuff sometimes. Those thoughts will pop up. You got to be patient with yourself, though, because it's not on you. You can only do but so much with your energy. So it's not on you to think that if I put all my energy into this and this and this and this, I still be at the same place. And so like, you had a good friend who put that patience back in you because it's easy. Patience is the easy thing to lose.
Yeah, it is. That's been my toughest battle.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Get my phone, bro.
No, I just wanted to talk. I wanted to say this comment real quick because T, the lady, just said a couple of things that I want to get to.
I know she dropped a couple of gems.
In the vein of
what you mind hitting all of them.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to the comments. I'm not a host. I'm a guest. I'm sorry.
She dropped a couple other comments. Because these two comments are in the vein of where we are in the conversation. Someone, what up,
yo? What up?
It's bedtime, y'all.
Get away. Let's say good night to the group. Good night.
Say night night. Say night night.
Night
That's
night.
what they on point. They on point. They on point. All right, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, we're on point.
That's golden. That's golden.
It's been stamped. So
that's right. So T, the lady said, I think seeing or every account or every goal achieved celebration. We perceive celebration as an extravagant thing when the accomplishment can and is the celebration. For me, sometimes being able to be still is a celebration. So I think it's important to see all growths, whether it be unseen or acknowledged, should be embraced in a celebratory space in the mind, body, and soul.
I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, being still, I like that idea because at the same time we move at a certain pace and we got a certain level of ambition, which we try to accelerate the process, but you can't ignore that moment. And sometimes that moment is itself the celebration. 2 minutes standing by myself, reflective, meditative, whatever stance you take on it. That's the acknowledgement. And it's also, I guess, that stillness is a moment of gratitude towards yourself and toward the work you put in. Because it's also it's not just celebrating the accomplishment. The accomplishment represents the plan, the work, the effort, maybe even a little luck and all that. Just acknowledging that is a good thing. Shout out to T the lady for putting gems in the comments.
For sure, for sure.
Oh no, she always good for gems.
We picking them gems up.
Yeah, we ain't leaving nothing. We scooping everything.
For sure.
Well,
I'm gonna just let
we're closing in on an hour mark.
Bad.
But before we get up out of here, I do want to ask you guys one lasting question. And this can honestly go hand in hand because we do the tradition here of leaving a lasting comment before we exit each episode. So this can go hand in hand with that as well, too. But I do want to get you guys' interpretation of how important you think brotherhood is to you and what does brotherhood look like and feel for you. So what do you seek out of your brothers and why do you hold them accountable to be who they are? And we could just go.
I mean, I'll start off, I don't mind.
Okay.
So for me, I've had a crazy year. Earlier this year, I lost my father to brain cancer. And a lot of that was a up and down situation because it was very unexpected. I took him to the hospital on November 10th, and he passed away on March 22nd. And before we went into the hospital, we had no idea. And so for me, brotherhood is when you go through something like that. It's like the Rick Ross line, like when your phone off, who you gonna call on? Now, I had a bunch of people I could call on for help, but the help they were offering wasn't the help for me. It was the help for my father, which was greatly appreciated. And I'll call my brothers. It was all about me in this situation. They still love Pop. They wanted to come and see him. Chevy came up a couple times. Jay wasn't in the city, so he couldn't come through. And a couple of my other fellas, they came and checked me out. I don't know if I told Quick about it because it was like a to the tuck type of situation where we just wasn't talking about it too much. And this wasn't in no group chat stuff. This was all like individual stuff. So for me, though, that's when the brotherhood manifests itself fully because I could call my bros. They checking on me. They giving me happiness and joy because they still living their life. I'm getting good news from them constantly. Whether it's something as simple as Jay being like, yo, I'm up here and I got my job. It sucks, but I'm working. I'm like, that's what's up. That's a step. And I'm talking to Chevy and he's sending me a new painting. Even when I went to me and Dash have known about each other for years, but we didn't actually meet until it was an event in Germantown. And that's going to solidify the brotherhood because we chopped it up for like pretty much the whole night outside.
Oh, night,
yeah. That was love, right? So to me, that's the brotherhood because like even though this is our first time officially meeting, we done ran in the same circle for so long and heard so many good things about each other. It's an easy dynamic. So at that moment where I could say I was probably at my lowest ever, I had my fellas to pick me up in a way that was just pure energy and love and genuine and sincere. And that to me is brotherhood. That's like I couldn't ask for any more. And it was way more than a physical thing. It wasn't even a financial thing. It was that intangible essence of why we brothers repeatedly being expressed in our conversations and the little messages and the love to Pop. And then I was on the flip side of that for Jay last year. And when we lost Mom Rose, that was a crazy situation because as much as we were prepared for it, we still weren't prepared for it.
Yeah.
But when everything went down, Jay was figuring out what to do, and we were just there like, what do you need? You need to ride somewhere. You need your people to be there. And so I remember, because it's not funny, it was a beautiful moment, but it's still a little funny because at the funeral when Jay was doing his last remarks, he had a little attitude because of the nonsense that had been going on. And this happens a lot when we deal with death. And so for me and Chevy, we just stood in the back so we could keep eye contact with bro. Like, don't look at your fam who might be bothering you. Don't look at these knucklehead ministers. Just look at us because we here for you. After we handle this, we're going to go help. We're going to lower the cat. We're going to do all the stuff your brother's going to do. And that to me was the real brotherhood. So after that, like literally, after we finished that, we went to link up with Chevy.
Yeah.
That's the other bro. After we left Chevy, we were heading back up to the Northeast. Many times we had done before, it's just me and Jay in the car. Today was different because we were celebrating the morning mom, and then randomly, it was also the Philly Naked Mile, the bike ride. So as soon as we So as soon as we get on the Spring Garden Street Bridge, it's just all these naked people riding by. I'm just like, this is that type of day. But for us, that's the other crazy part about the brotherhood. Who else would you want to have a random experience with like that than your brother? We go through this crazy day and it ends on this surreal, abstract note. Then we go up to the Northeast, and once we get up to the crib, the plan is all right, what do we got to do next to get you straight? Because we brothers. So we got to clean up. I'm up there cleaning up. Murph is helping clean up. Like, we all going to come through for our brothers. So to me, that's what brotherhood is. Those are the guys you can really count on when you don't even know if you can count on yourself sometimes.
I can dig that. I can dig that.
I want to apologize because I didn't know about your father, Juice. So I just want to apologize. You know what I'm saying? Give my condolences. Cool. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And Prince, you know what I'm saying? You already know. You're my guy. Yeah. Juice, you're my guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Don't. Yeah. If y'all need anything, bro, anything, just hit me, man. Hit me. Cause I don't be having my fingers in the streets like I used to. You know what I'm saying? So I get information super late, and sometimes I'll be a little too late. So, but I'm always here, yeah. I'm always here. Yeah.
And that's the thing, Quick. You are always there. So for me, like I was saying, that was more like because of how it happened. Like it's not something I've talked about. You know what I'm saying? Because it's still shocking to me. But at the same time, it don't change the fact that I know you, my bro. I know you there for me. Like last time I saw you, it was love and it was appreciated.
Yes,
and that's what I talk about with the brotherhood. Like those are the things that matter to me because like there's probably some stuff that's going on for you in the past. I'm gonna say year that maybe we could talk about, maybe we don't talk about. But when we do decide to talk about it, it's gonna be an honest conversation.
For sure, for sure. I ain't gonna hold no punches. That's for sure.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Always love with the fellas.
Just to quickly answer your question though, about brotherhood. For me, it kind of transformed over the years. It kind of started with, you know, I had different friend circles. You know, some of them it was about sports. You know what I mean, and you know, working towards that common goal, which was a championship or winning. I had other friend circles. You know, as a kid, it was just about cinema. It was about music, you know what I mean? It was about rapping, it was about bidding, you know what I mean? And that's just what we like cultivated our relationship around, you know what I mean? And as we grow up, you know, now I'm a man, you know, as a young man, it was kind of, you know, chasing tail, you know what I mean? Going out, you know, turning up, saying what's what, you know what I mean? But now, you know, as a full grown man, you know, I expect, you know, accountability from my brothers. I expect, you know, them to push themselves and position their families so that, you know, we can set up generational wealth for our kids that come after us and our grandkids and our great grandkids. So you know, just trying to move the meter in that regard and you know, focus on our families and building our families up so that they're strong and solid for generations to come. But at the same time, not losing sight of how important it is for us to invest in our communities and our neighborhoods and the young people and the young adults sometimes that don't have those same support systems and those same accesses to opportunities. It's a balancing act at times. For real, if I'm being honest, a lot of times it feels like not making any progress whatsoever. Even when
water
you look
sometimes.
back at all your wins, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you got your wins is here, you know what I mean? But the adversity is always up here somewhere. It's just like, damn, like what did I even like put a dent in this shit? But at the end of the day, man, like you said, we treading water. We doing the best we can, and I'm confident that our families are going to be in a better position for it.
I wanna not trail, but I wanna connect off of that finalizing point by Quick. You said something really key in that when you said cultivating relationships. You know what I mean? I know all of us through the years of us growing and developing, we've had our various circles because of what our focus was on in that time period. You know what I mean? But brotherhood to me is where the circle that we have cultivated is about accountability. It's about uplifting. It's about genuine love. It isn't about anything ephemeral. You know what I mean? Tail is ephemeral. Mm-hmm. It goes. You know what I mean? You want to see tail. Nothing. You know what I mean? And if we ain't talking about substantial, then we really talking about something. You know what I mean? That's come and go. That's touch and go. You know what I'm saying? Sports, you're gonna have your championship every year, and then the next year somebody else is gonna get it. The next game is going to be another set of bets and shit. You know what I mean? There's going to be trades. Teams are not going to stay the same. Out of different. You know what I'm saying? It's never going to be as consistent as far as, you know what I mean? Unless you just want to be a diehard, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
Raiders.
as far as what it takes to grow or whatnot, that's ebb and flow. That's valleys and peaks. You know what I mean? You're going through the motions. You're going through the changes. And the consistency is the love. The consistency is the accountability. Consistency is making sure that you do everything in your natural ability to uplift your brother and to see your brother in a better place, regardless of what it is that the brother is going through.
Yeah, as my man I know Brasco wisely said, it's about us.
Yeah,
it's about us.
Facts.
That's the best way to end it. I mean, Dash, you gotta tell us what Brotherhood is, but it's about us. Is the best way.
that is the best way to end it, though.
Yeah, but you're not getting out of here without
Don't weasel. You ain't weasel.
I like the quick host. She's like, yeah, so we can pivot. Nah, brother, we need to hear from you too.
So for me, like Quick said, my idea of brotherhood has evolved throughout the years. You know, like, and I had different versions of what I considered brotherhood to be and viewed it as. But as I got older, the things that stood out to me in brotherhood has been authenticity, loyalty, and trust, you know. And as long as those three things are within my brotherhood group, I'm good. And I've kind of seen that within, like, the people I consider my brothers, like you three included, you know, like just within conversations, experiences. And it doesn't necessarily have to be anything like life-changing or hard. It could just be something that I just felt like you were there for me in a moment that I might not have wanted to speak up. So, like, Juice, for you, like, when we got to know each other, like, actually that weekend that me and you first met each other personally face-to-face, I was going through a lot, you know, in my personal life. And, like, having that conversation with you kind of gave me a whole perspective on things that that helped me work that situation out in a lot better form and fashion than I would have handled it prior, you know.
I got you back in your shoes right.
Yeah, you know, got sharpened the iron, you know, got my mind thinking, like, helped me look at things differently and from a perspective that was outside of my own, that I was just like, you know what? Okay, I see that person making points. You know, I see the points Juice making to make what they were saying to me make sense, you know, like, Quick. Every time I rap with you, I feel like I'm having a conversation with Big Bro, you know, like, as far as like advice, whether that's from sports to NFTs to whatever, you know, like, honestly, you kind of got me whole up in that crypto world where I'm even looking at because of you, you know.
Stick with it, man. Stick with it. Stick with it.
Money when you do it the right way.
Right. Don't take no shortcuts. It's like you talking about. You know what I mean? Do it the long way. Trust
two things. It's all about us. Do it the long way.
Right. Like, honestly, the long way is the best way, you know. And as someone who loves shortcuts, I've learned, you know, taking a shortcut only prevents you from doing what you want to do and prolongs the process, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
I tell my man, like, when you cut too many corners, you end up going in a circle. You know what I mean? You cut all the corners, you only go in a circle.
Quick season this conversation with so many jewels.
And Jeide, you know, Jeide, I love you. You know, like, you really are a big bro. Like, you know, on a personal, emotional, on every level, for real. You know, like, Jeide, he hear a lot of my shit off mic. You know, like, and I know it's plenty of times where I'm telling you stories where you're just like, yo, Dash, you fucking crazy. But I love the fact that you're so patient with me, and, you know, you give me a sense of understanding. And, like, even when you agree with me, you give me a perspective to make me think, you know, like, maybe I'm not completely right. And you always give me that devil advocate's point of view. You know, it's always positive because, like, as a man, like, it's easy to have a mindset and be like, look, this is the plan. This is the road I want to go. This is the step. But, you know, you need those people in your circle to be like, you know what, maybe what you're doing is wrong. Or, like, maybe you could do this, and just kind of gear your thinking and change the way you move and handle things that make things more beneficial and fruitful for you. You know.
Yeah, man.
And Chef, you know, Chef, can't forget about him. He always had my back, you know. And, like, for him, I'm actually going to use a real example, and this is how I knew me and him was brothers. It was our early 20s, and it was around the time, you know, we out in the mix. You know, around the time you party all night, come home when it's daylight.
Barely beat
And
the sun home. Yeah.
one night, I had too much to drink. You know, I was entirely too inebriated. You know, and we were out in like somewhere in Bucks County, and I just remember Chev just took the keys from me. He just started to drive up. You know, and I was supposed to be his wingman. We were supposed to take turns keeping each other up throughout the ride. I was checking out multiple times throughout the ride, but like him being as thorough as he is, you know, even when I started to dip, he would give me like a little nudge to be like, "Yo, stay up with me, player." And when I did fall asleep on it, he didn't hold it against me and be like, "Yo, you fell asleep on me. I was depending on you to help keep me awake so we could stay alive." Like it was just
I'd
like,
have
you
held
know
that
what,
shit
my
against
brother's
you.
tired. Like,
I'd have held that shit against you hard, nigga. Man law violated.
I
You
mean,
fall asleep, you co-pilot.
especially if you ride, yeah, you shotgun, like you probably would have got
Right.
jokes, and you probably wouldn't be able to ride shotgun for another 10 years. But we would have made sure we got home safe. Just
Right.
know that you would have got jokes. You'd have been the first leg driving for the rest of the trips. Yeah. Yeah, Dash got started off because you know you're going to fall asleep if you say shotgun. Like, it would have been for the rest of your life. Like, did we bring Dash his baby chair? Because he likes to be comfy before he goes to sleep shotgun. You know, just like,
Bring this nigga a
snacks
blanket.
yet. Yeah, right?
oh man,
He got his pillow in the back. He's just going straight check.
oh
That's
man,
brotherhood,
no,
right?
that's real talk. That's real talk. Like
That's
that's why I
brotherhood.
don't even get mad when when he talking shit. I just feel like, you know what, it's well deserved. Like,
I mean, that's the other part about it. You're going to get jokes. I mean, that's just the nature of how we do things. It's never personal, but it's always
Yeah.
personal
It's all
enough because
love.
we went through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't, I ain't trying to hurt you, but I mean, easy shots we got to take at each other. Part of
Exactly.
that's an important facet of brotherhood. You know,
Yeah.
learning to take those jokes. You know,
Oh,
learning,
yeah.
learning to be embarrassed about the shit that you do. You know, having your brothers clown you for it. You know, like.
I got a quick story real fast. I remember one time me and Jay, we had a classmate from CCP. We went to kick it with her, right? And she had a female roommate who was plus size, right? And I'm a skinny dude over 6 foot. Sometimes plus size women like to take shots at me. It's like, okay, that's fine. I come from a family and from friends where we always give each other jokes. So when she was giving me her jokes, I was like, listen, Ma, I get it. Like, this is what you do with dudes who look like me. But I done heard all the Chris Rock look-alike jokes. My brother looked more like me. I done heard the big head jokes. I done had a big head my whole life. I done heard the dark skin jokes my whole life. So I'm sitting there looking at her going, listen, give me something funny. Because right now, it's just like pedantic. And I'm not being disrespectful because we sitting there, you know, chiefing it up, chopping it up. But that caught her for a loop. And Jay's just sitting there like, listen, this is what we do. We take more
Right.
shots at each other than anybody. So if you're going to come at us, you're going to have to come hard. Oh, look, Janae. Yo, Janae, what up? I'm talking about you. It was her homie, not her. So it's like, that's the nature of how we always get down. So like you said, like, we go and take these shots at each other because it's all love. Like, I'm never going to be frustrated with my bros. I done had some of the best jokes against me from my bros. I'm like, that's funny. That's funny. That's what I care about. But yeah, I just want to say, as we are wrapping this up, I do love all y'all fellas. Love you, Jay. Love you, Dash. Love you, Quick. I love seeing y'all. I ain't see Dash in a couple months in person. We're going to have to change that soon.
I know,
Yo,
right?
we
And I-
need another kickback, yo.
We
need
definitely
another one on the
do.
block, man. That shit was love.
But Jay, you got to figure that
I
out.
know Jay,
That's
yeah,
your
yeah,
schedule.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
You
gotta
about
get
to
to
you
see
about to
you.
go underground.
I know.
about- real.
We need to do it before you go under.
Yeah, I'm about to actually disappear. I'm about to disappear from PVM for like a month. When I come back, people at PVM, y'all know what's going on. The family you already know. But when I come back, the rest of the world will know easily. The first, I'm gonna start off with PVM because y'all have been with us for 200 episodes, and we thank you. We love y'all.
200.
Oh, wait. Side note.
200, yo.
Congratulations to you guys on 200. Yeah, I just thought about
200,
that. We should
yeah.
have started that off.
Yeah.
That's a big thing
Right.
we should celebrate. That's 200. That's consistency. That's sticking with it. That's chasing it. And I respect y'all for doing that. I ain't seen all 200. I ain't going to lie to y'all. But I love that y'all do it because I'm a support anyway. You know, I always try to check in. And shout out to Dash, too. He's been making sure I've seen him because he just makes sure I stay up on top of it, which I appreciate. So I'm just proud of y'all for sticking with it. And I don't know if it's going to be another 200 or another 100 or we're going to retool and do better because, you know, what's the Jay-Z quote? No, it's the Rakim quote. Constant elevation causes expansion. And that's what we're trying to do. It's about us. Love y'all. and we just try and get better.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Just trying to be better each day than the last, you know.
Exactly.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
But we definitely
Right.
gonna speak that future 200 in existence, you know.
Well,
You know,
we'll be in the
hopefully a
studio.
larger platform, you know. Hopefully see me and Jeide decked out, you know, with the mics, you know.
Yeah, get y'all
hard,
studio
Y'all
up,
got
back,
you know.
a
somebody throw
serious
us the
library,
bag.
man. Yeah,
Nah,
y'all
Yeah.
got a serious library, 200 episodes, ain't nothing to sneeze at, long form. You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
that's big deal. Y'all in rare company right now.
Appreciate it. And we got some shit for y'all too. We got some shit. The next season ain't gonna be like the last ones. We got some shit. We got some shit for y'all. Y'all stay
Always try and get better. Let it hear.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, as soon as Jeide return, PVM will definitely take an uptick, you know. Things will be changing, guys. Like, that's why we just keep hitting, like, changes are on the way. Like, we don't want to reveal too much too early, but definitely changes are on the way. And we got a lot of big plans ahead, you know.
Let it hear. Let it hear.
Topics, guests, individual endeavors, you know, combine it all.
T-shirts.
You know?
Oh, no,
Oh, yeah, definitely
T-shirts.
T-shirts.
Like, get your swag on.
T-shirts,
We need that merch,
hoodies,
boy.
you know, the
We need
hats.
that merch, boy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Hop in the email, guys, for all the PVM merch, you know. Like, I want to see everybody decked out in PVM this winter, you know. That's all I want for
Y'all hook me
Christmas.
up with a bucket, man, for these. They can go over these locks right here, man. That'd be fire. You know what I mean? Just keep your boy in mind. You know what I mean? Locks need buckets.
God.
And ball heads need buckets, too.
Dude,
Boy,
yeah.
definitely need buckets.
Locks got protection. Ball heads, a little something on
Yeah,
top.
cool.
It's just fuzzy. Ball heads need buckets.
I just need a bucket hat just because it's fashionable. And I love the way
Yeah.
Jeide be doing his thing, you know. Like,
Yeah,
so
shout out to the fans.
I need a dad bucket hat, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We need them
I
buckets,
need that.
boy. Yeah.
With
you got to make
a
mine a little
pocket
bigger.
for my
Huh?
L's.
My
I just
God, I
need
know
one
you ain't
little
gonna forget
pocket,
about
Jeide, so I can put the marijuana on the side, so I can be on the motion. Like,
It ain't illegal anymore. Thank you, 2022.
well, thank you guys for joining us for 200th episode. You know, we definitely appreciate y'all coming up here. We
Thanks for
love
having
y'all. We appreciate y'all.
Love you, Dash.
Got-
Love you, Jay. Love you, Quick. My boys.
Love y'all dudes, man. Each and every one of y'all.
Love y'all, man. Bro.
Yeah.
See my man D Nice in the chat too, man. I ain't seen him in a minute. Baby Dread, I see you, my guy. I'm dripping on you though. Yes sir,
Yeah.
yes sir. But you
Shout
out
out
here.
to the chat for the comments and everything. Love everybody in the chat, too. Love everybody.
Right. Comments was popping today. Appreciate
Hell
everybody
yeah.
for commenting. Miss Sean Flossie, I see you. Appreciate you jumping up in as well.
Friends of mine,
Coach
Tay,
Lowry.
what's up, Tay?
Can't
Mrs.
even
Willie
tell who's actually
Anderson.
walking and who's watching right now. I wish I could see.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stroll. Rory, you know. Everybody that's up in the comments. Thank y'all for tapping in, celebrating 200th episode with us. We will be back Sunday with special guest Carly Frey as we discuss her new project that was released today. You know, definitely make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel, Positive Vibes Maybe. Stay up to date on past and present episodes as far as clips as well. And, you know, like, enjoy your night, you know. Chill with your loved ones. Make sure you enjoy your vices. Drink well. Have some water.
Be responsible.
Grab a smoothie from Flyer Mount Catering, you know.
Yeah.
Grab a
Keep
dad
it in the
hat
brand.
from my man Jay Sony. Hit up Kang for your art decor. Like this painting I got right behind me.
Nice.
You know, definitely tap into the High Five family. We got a little something for everybody. So, you know, tap in, shop around, figure out what you like.
Nice.
You guys want to say anything before we get up out of here?
Yeah,
Hey,
peace
man.
and blessings
God
on
bless and
everybody.
good night.
Yeah, right. We out of here.
Russell Simmons, man.
All
right. I love
boys.
y'all.
Talk to y'all.
Peace.
Love y'all, boys.
Love you, man. Love y'all.
Love y'all.